I want to say this. Wow.
There we go.
I was going to say the sound was Dave Barrere's responsibility today. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. It's great to be in Times Square as we anticipate a phenomenal night tomorrow night. I'm here with members of the command staff, obviously, and to my right at the end, Tom Harris from the Times Square Alliance. You're going to hear about what should be a great event tomorrow. We're going to outline all of our security plans. Normally at this we talk about safety, we talk about threats, and there are no independent threats. There's no credible threats, so that right off the top. But this year is a little different. In addition to safety, we're going to talk about health and what we want. And we want everyone to come out. We're going to outline the plans that we have in place. But most importantly, we want people to be safe and healthy. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it to Dave Barrere, our Acting Chief of Department.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just want to start by ensuring New Yorkers that the NYPD is prepared for New Year's Eve, both here in Times Square, as well as throughout the rest of the city. We took proactive management measures by canceling days off for police officers throughout the city. By eliminating these days off, we're going to ensure that we're going to have enough staffing to provide critical police services throughout the city and maintain our general patrol strength. The big picture right now in New York City is we're in good shape, and here in Times Square, as well as the rest of New York City. And I'll turn it over to the Chief of Patrol, Juanita Holmes.
That was quick. Good afternoon, everyone, and Happy New Year's Eve. So I'd like to reiterate what Chief Barrere said. We have more than adequate staff for tomorrow and keeping the city safe tomorrow night. In addition to that, I just want to make mention of some key things. We are strongly suggesting that everyone uses public transportation at 4 a.m. in the morning on December 31st. This area from 38th Street to 59th Street, 5th to 9th Avenue will be shut down to vehicular traffic. In addition to that, 2 subway egresses will also close at 4 a.m. and that's 42nd and 7th Avenue and 47th Street and Broadway. So please, in addition to that, do not bring any large items. We don't want to see alcohol, no lawn chairs, no large bags, backpacks, and please, under no circumstances, think that you can leave any personal property at the entry point and it'll be there. We're not inventorying or storing any items, so please take heed to our message. Do not bring any items that are prohibited into the area. In addition to that, we will have ambassadors, officers, that will escort anyone that lives in the area, has business in the area, or attending any event. Naturally, you should have the proper, credentials to show that you have reservations or that you live in the area, license, things of that sort. In addition to that, we're going to have our partners from Times Square Alliance, Tom Harris. A little later, he'll speak about the requirements, because now we've scaled down to about 15,000 that are going to be allowed into the viewing areas. Tom's going to speak about those requirements regarding vaccinations. I'll now turn it over to Chief Martine Matarazzo, and she'll speak about our counterterrorism overlay. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Holmes. So as in years past, the Counterterrorism Bureau will conduct a screening of spectators as they are allowed to enter into the frozen zones in the different access points. Here, spectators should expect to go through multi-layered screening process, including but not limited to magnetometers, explosive trace detection machines, heavy weapons, and explosive detection canines. The inner and outer perimeter of this event will be protected by many of our other assets. Some you will see and some you will not see, including plainclothes observation teams, bomb squad response teams, radiation detection teams, vaporweight canines, drone detection, and sand block trucks from the NYPD, as well as sanitation. We will also be monitoring approximately 1,000 cameras within the vicinity from the NYPD, as well as our private stakeholders. The NYPD will also be coordinating, as always, with our city, state, federal, and local law enforcement partners, including the FDNY, Office of Emergency Management, Sanitation, New York City Sheriffs, Homeland Security, and Marshals. We will be working with them in the field side by side, as well as at our Joint Operations Center. But the public, as we always say, you are our key. If you see something, say something. Either grab a police officer or please call 1-888 NYC SAFE. You are our partners in this mission. I would now like to introduce Chief of Intelligence, Thomas Galati.
Good afternoon, everybody. So, as the police commissioner indicated earlier, there are no specific or credible threats to the New Year's Eve event or any other events that are going on throughout the city. Even though there are no current threats, we must keep in mind that New York City remains a target to foreign terrorist organizations and homegrown violent extremists. They've targeted New York before, and they inspire to do it again. Because of that, we will be monitoring all the threat streams with many of our federal partners, the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, the Department of Homeland Security, many of which will be on the ground here, but also monitoring virtually and through joint operation centers through the city and other locations. In addition, you already heard a lot about how there's going to be a robust police presence throughout here. Some you'll see and some you won't. But in addition to that, you're going to be seeing police officers throughout most of the hotels and the venues throughout Times Square. This also working very closely with the hotel security directors. This is so that we have a robust presence around the hotel venues to ensure quick and seamless access if any threat is posed from any of the hotel rooms that face Times Square. We will also be monitoring events going on throughout the country and throughout the world with our domestic and our international liaison program, where we have 14 NYPD detectives stationed all around the world. Finally, I want to encourage anybody who sees what they consider suspicious activity to report it to the NYPD through the 188 New York City SAFE hotline or through 911. The Intelligence Bureau has a leads team that works 24 hours, 7 days a week that will respond to any suspicious activity. I'll now turn it over to Tom Harris from the Times Square Alliance.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Shea and Chiefs. We are very excited to welcome visitors back to Times Square this New Year's Eve. Make no mistake, that would not be possible without the hard work and tireless effort of the New York City Police Department that day in and day out helps protect the city and helps protect Times Square, and we owe them a debt of gratitude, and we should thank a police officer anytime we see them standing a post. This year, we're going to be welcoming visitors who are fully vaccinated with masks into Times Square. We are adding one layer to an already perfect system that the police department has worked on years in and years out. Just upstream of where the Counterterrorism Bureau is going to be screening people, we will have vaccination checkers who will check ID and vaccination status and make sure that people have masks on. If people don't have masks, we will be providing for them. Again, our goal is to have a safe and responsible event for the world to see. And if people can't get to Times Square, they can watch the events on our website at tsq.org. Thank you very much, Commissioner Shea, for your work over the last 30 years to Times Square and for the city. We owe you a debt of gratitude.
So I think we've run through the course. We'll open it up to questions on topic first. Yes, sir. I think the pandemic has changed literally, all of our lives over the last 2+ years, including this event. It's something that we have to adapt to. Certainly, I'm sure somebody will bring up the topic of members of the service that are out sick. We're at the highest level that I've ever seen in my career. When you look at March of 20, we peaked at 19.8%, 20%. We hit 21% today. But I gotta give it to the people behind me and that are back at headquarters, just the planning that has gone into this event, from canceling days off to moving people around to putting people on steady tours to doing what we do best. And we're in good shape. We're in good shape, not just for here, but for all 5 corners of New York City to make sure we have enough officers on the street. And let me just echo Tom. Tom, thank you very much. But thank you to all the officers that are out here today and every day over the last 30+ years keeping New Yorkers safe. I owe them a debt of gratitude. Well, I think I took a selfie with a lot of you last year standing in the middle of Times Square and it was empty. Not something I want to see happen again. We're used to big crowds. We're going to be ready. It won't be as big as normal. We just ask everyone plan accordingly. Tom, you're going to have the information on the website. We're going to echo that information. We're going to be blasting out on all our social media platforms. The best thing you can do is have advance notice of what's expected. You got to be vaccinated. You're going to have to wear a mask. You're going to get here early. As Juanita said, as with any year, you're not going to be drinking alcohol here. You're not going to have chairs. So just be forewarned. Get here early. We obviously scaled it down, but we anticipate a great kickoff to 2022. I'm going to turn that to Steve Hughes. Steve, entry points.
Yes, we have 8 entry points, 4 on 6th Avenue and 4 on 8th Avenue. We've been working with Tommy Harris from Times Square Alliance to get the people in. We're just going to reduce the crowd sizes in each of the viewing areas, so there'll be area for people to move around. So once we fill up in a location, we'll close the entry points at that time.
Rocco. We've seen some of that, lady. If it comes up, we'll deal with it. I mean, there's nobody better than the team here in Manhattan South in dealing with allowing people to exercise their constitutional rights to protest. We'll allow that tomorrow, as we do every day, but the show is going to go on, and that's the key message. 21% as of today. Yes, sir. At the peak in March of 20, April of 20, we hit 21%, but the good news is, and let's focus on that, it feels very different today than it did last year in the spring of 2020. When you look at the hospitalization rates, there is really literally no comparison. So when you look at the extent of officers that are sick and for how long, the hospitalization rates are nowhere near. It's 3 too many, but 3 is the number as of today. When you look at the mutating disease, when you look at the vaccines, thank God we're in a much better place. Last ones? Yeah, I'll turn that to Steve or Juanita.
No, around 4 a.m. we're going to stop the traffic on Broadway and 7th Avenue. That permits the production crews to bring their equipment in to set up the stages and all that. So we generally close it from roughly 42nd Street up to 57th Street at that time, and we'll divert the traffic out of the area.
It's New York City. You expect the unexpected. It's going to be a great night. It's a great place for Eric to be sworn in. So it's, I thought it was a party for me. Maybe we'll share the party tomorrow, but half for me and half for Eric. Listen, the expectation is pretty clear. We'll set it one more time. If you're coming out tomorrow, let's have fun. Let's do it in a safe environment. You're going to wear a mask, and that's the expectation for everyone. So, as I think Tom said, and many of us had said, there's going to be people checking as they screen in. We're going to have magnetometers as well. This is the world we're in. So we're going to be checking for multiple things. We'll have people checking for vaccination status. That won't be handled specifically by the NYPD, but we'll be working hand in hand all together, one collaborative effort to make sure everyone is safe and has a great time. Yes, sir. Last one. Absolutely. There will be sand trucks employed. That's part of our counterterrorism overlay. Thank you, everyone.